96.9, Boston Talks, Radio Row, Republican National Convention, Tampa, and our very own Senator Scott Brown. Listen, you've become a national hero to many, and you've probably sparked a great interest in politics. And you come to this and you see a guy like Mitt Romney, who was a businessman for so long, but was interested in the process. Talk about the energy that you feel when you come to one of these conventions.
Well, this is my first one. I'm honored to be here. I had military duty. I wasn't able to come down earlier, but just to see my baby sing last night was something special to watch when I was home by myself in my home, just watching her. But to be down here with one of our favorite sons, it's something special, whether you be Democrat or Republican. The fact that we have someone from Massachusetts who is going to be running for the President of the United States is, I think, a very proud moment for our state, as it's been when we had Senator Kerry and Mike Dukakis running. They're proud moments for our state, so I'm honored to be here.
First time since 1934, since Calvin Coolidge, Massachusetts has the Republican nominee. But you're somebody that bucked a little bit of a trend, and it got a few headlines because of your pro-choice status and the pro-life without exception platform that the Republicans. How difficult was that for you? But you've always said that you'll swim against the tide if you feel that that's your belief.
I wrote a letter to the chairman expressing my point of view. I would have liked them to be more obviously inclusive in that regard, but we are and need to be a bigger tent party. That being said, I'm my own guy. I'm running on issues that affect Massachusetts right now, and that's really our debt, deficit, taxes, spending, jobs, national security, energy. And while Professor Warren wants to try to nationalize this race and run against Mitt Romney, she may still have a chance if she wants to. Maybe she can do a write-in campaign in a week or so. But she's running against me. I'm a Scott Brown Republican, and that means that I treat everybody with dignity and respect, and I run on the things that matter for people, and that's how to pay the bills, how to get jobs, how to get our economy moving again, and that's what I've been doing.
Talk about the character of a guy like Mitt Romney, whom you know very well.
I worked with him. He's obviously, when it comes to the business issues, he's very, very knowledgeable. And while we don't agree on some of the social things, we're in a financial emergency. And as he came into Massachusetts and got us out of that financial mess we were in, he can do the same thing in this economy. We need people who understand business, who understand how to make choices, and that's why I'm here. That's why I'm supporting him. And I think it's important that I am here because to have a pro-choice moderate here, I think sends a very powerful message that while we don't agree on everything, we can still respect each other. We can still appreciate that there are good people on both sides of these very sensitive and important issues. And that's what I'm going to continue to tell people. And when I have an opportunity to speak up, I'm going to do just that.
I mean, you became well known. You had the pickup truck, the barn jacket.
Still
you were much more like a regular guy.
It's too hot for a barn jacket, so.
And you were fighting for the seat held by Ted Kennedy. You were a Republican with a long swim upstream.
Yeah.
And suddenly you were on People Magazine's top 100 list. How did you do it? What was it that you believed in yourself that you could make a difference?
Well, I didn't do it. It's the people of Massachusetts did it. They recognized that I wasn't going to be like the others. I was going to go down there and be that independent voice that they wanted. And I've done exactly what they wanted. I've been that independent voice. I vote with my party 54% of the time, while every other member of the delegation's like 96, 97 and above. I'm the second most bipartisan senator in the United States Senate, and people in Massachusetts are going to have a very, very clear choice. Somebody like Professor Warren is going to be a rock thrower. She said she wants to leave blood and teeth in the street and not compromise, and that's exactly what she'll do. She will not compromise. And can you imagine 100 Professor Warrens down there? I mean, really, at a time where we have tremendous gridlock, we want another gridlock senator. God forbid. So we need people like me and others like me down there to move forward and move our country forward, and that's what I'm going to do.
Now, 33% or 34% of Massachusetts voters are registered Democrats. Only 11% are Republicans, and a huge 52% are unenrolled.
Right.
For those that lean the way of Elizabeth Warren and maybe on the liberal side of the aisle, how are you going to try and draw them back to the middle? You've been a very moderate Republican
senator.
Listen,
there's some people that just aren't going to vote for me, and I understand that. And there's some people that just aren't going to vote for her, and she understands that, I'm sure. But bottom line is, if you want somebody who has done exactly what they said they were going to do, I'm going to make mistakes, by the way, and I've made them, and I'll continue to make them, but I'll learn from them. Versus somebody who will be in lockstep with her party and the special interests that has spent millions and millions of dollars towards her campaign, then you vote for her. So what am I doing? I'm reaching out and just reminding them why they sent me there and then what I've done since I've been there, and then what you have to look forward to as we continue on.
Were you offended when she tried to align you with the conservative right, with their pro-life stance, when she knows that you're pro-choice?
Listen, as my numbers have gone up and hers have gone down, you've noticed a sense of desperation. And apparently, I don't think she understands who she's running against. I think she thinks she's running against Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan. She's running against Scott Brown. I'm from Rentham, still have the truck. It's got 237,000 miles, and in order to get to Rentham, you go down, 128 to 95 to Route 1 to 140, and then you take a left on Creek Street. So,
do you think she'd even be able to get there with a GPS?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if she's been there, but
think she could get to Charlestown?
No, you have to ask her.
Now, I know that Jim Browdy, our very own, who's a big fan of yours, despite his liberal leaning, his liberal
I like
tendencies,
Jim a lot. He's a good guy.
He will always tell everybody that when you come to the St. Patrick's Day breakfast, you hit a grand slam and you leave a room full of 1,000 Democrats stunned with their mouth wide open. They don't know what to do. Where was it that you developed that skill that despite maybe a political difference, you knew how to go into a room and talk to people and make them think, well, you just can't always vote along party lines?
Jim Browdy taught me that.
He did? Did he?
His form of moderation.
When he was at the Cambridge City Council?
On the Cambridge City Council, when he was just that Mr. Moderate. I used to call him Mr. Moderate when he was there at the City Council. Listen, all kidding aside, I just try to do what I think is important and right. And I read the bills. I understand them. I see how they affect Massachusetts, our country, our debt and our deficit, and I vote. I'm one of the only guys down there that does it that way. And I sleep really well at night knowing that I've done the best I possibly can. My sole obligation is to look out for Massachusetts first, and then obviously work to move our country forward. But if I'm not down there fighting for our state, who is? I mean, really, who is? So, and that's what you have to ask yourself. So I'm proud to be from Massachusetts. I've lived there. My kids are born here. My wife and I were married here. Probably die here. Hopefully not too soon.
One more question for you. You have two daughters, one in college. You've got one
they're
that's
both
graduating.
out of college now.
They're both. Ariana's out of college as well.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. I have two girls who are in high school.
Well, good
they're
luck.
young. They're involved. They like to see the process. How do you say to young people who so often are very, very liberal and liberal thinking, how do you say, take a look at our party, Generation Y, look at Republicans? What do you tell them?
I tell them to see, take their paycheck, see how much is coming out from the money they earn every week when they go to work, whether it's in their part-time or summertime job, and see what you're paying and where it's going, and ask questions. And I have found that young people, they want to be engaged, and they are paying attention. We've had a lot of support, and I'm going to continue to try to get support from those young people. I just tell them the truth. It's pretty simple. So listen, tell
any
everyone,
interest in replacing Bobby Valentine as the manager of the Red Sox because they need help?
No, the Sox are struggling. It's a team effort. I just hope that they, get back on track, because it's good for the city, it's good for the state when they do well. But go Patriots.
Senator Scott Brown, thank you for your time. We appreciate it. 96.9 Boston Talks.